It's not the rape that is difficult to endure, it's society's conjecture view after the rape that becomes insurmountable to survive. We learn to compensate, well, at least for me. My compensation happened at such an age, it just became part of my being. I was too young to know otherwise how to live or learn from what I experienced. I learned from within, without guidance, without direction, without support, and in isolation. I discovered that once damaged, more frequently than not, you're going to be viewed as damaged. In simple terms, the rape occurred more than once. I was 13, he was a neighbor, a father, a soccer coach, family friend, and a White House appointee. I've traveled with his family at times. 8 years later, a month prior to my graduation from college, after learning about others, I broke my silence to his wife. I had to protect his son and my godson. I spent the next 5 years in court in both Virginia as well as here in Colorado at Vail. Thankfully, the body and the mind are very resilient and work in tandem to channel the unbelievable pain found deep within and to protect the soul. Beside the physical nature of the assault, a misalignment occurs between your thoughts and your feelings. This neurological and biochemical response, though designed to protect you in the moment of a traumatic experience, eventually becomes the catalyst for suffering for years to come. The John Jay College study, research concerning the Catholic Church, found that between the years of 1950 and 2002, there were 10,667 allegations of abuse by the church. And these were just the ones that were reported. Of the reports, 81% were males. I'm tired of reading the statistics such as this, knowing that boys that will become men, many of which will never have a voice, and to some, that silence will be fatal. It's simple to see the wounds one receives from an accident, empathize with one whose illness can be seen on the CT scan, but it's far more difficult to comprehend the open wounds and the contamination that an assault can have on one's ability to develop a healthy self-efficacy. The mind's ability to disassociate and catalog the fear and pain and isolation and sadness is immense. The mind becomes its own operation. But the fun does not stop there. Trauma is the gift that keeps on giving. Over time, this affliction grows like a cancer, quiet and obscure. When everything is properly aligned and without warning, this tumor will rupture and the infection attacks your being with a vengeance. We learn we have limited choices and it's not a game, and it's far from the realms of control. We live minute to minute and hour to hour. It's an apocalyptic experience, twofold. The pressure of the mind versus the pressure of society. Be strong, be stoic, be resilient, hold the line is the messaging that we receive, which causes us to go inward, develop rage, and become hypervigilant. There is a silver lining that I found with hypervigilance now. As I tell my 9-year-old son, I know you're going to lie before you know you're going to lie. For whatever the reason, it was the birth of my daughter when the world finally went dark. Memories scattered, minutes and hours were lost over days. The mind would not stop yelling, inward or out. What I do not recall is cradling her, holding her, or smelling that scent. It was not a place where I could cherish her smile or lay down next to her. I see pictures, but my memory escapes me. What kept me afloat, it was not the rally of friends and family. In reality, once the PTS erupted, I was even more isolated from others than before. What I drew from was remembering the eyes of the many who I've worked with over the years. But also, in part, it was the kids I worked with at the Challenges and Choices program at Project Adventure, my first job. It was a challenge for those guys to be strong, to work through conversations, their issues openly and honestly. It was these difficult conversations, the long standoffs, and the threatening behaviors, the nights watching movies, but what was most memorable about working with these guys was teaching them the game of croquet. A game where they learned to get out their aggression and anger, and let me tell you, those were the most dynamic croquet games I have ever seen. These kids hit the fuck out of that ball. But in the end, it was the alignment of theory and practice, and allowing them to be angry, to laugh, but most importantly, to be children they were supposed to be with dignity. I use these memories of these guys to find my own strength. I was not going to be a hypocrite by remembering how I would push them while they were aimlessly looking for their flicker of light. I was not going to just use the works of the Scholls and the Gillises and the Gasses to help others, but I had to personalize their research myself. Every day would become my own experiential learning cycle, allowing me to get to the next morning and take another deep, prolific breath. Some would call her a therapist. I called her my voodoo doctor. She could do some crazy shit with the mind. When I walked into her office, I told her, we will make this work. I am determined to attack the pain head-on until it subsides. I do not want medication to numb what I'm feeling. I want to own it until it is no longer. It is the only way to ensure my mind and my body becomes one. For 2 years, I learned to sit and trust the process. Not just her process, but my process. I had to give up in order to gain. I had to give up the fear and pain in order to relive, remember, and forgive. I gained life perspective and depth. I learned to rewrite my story and find comfort in my soul. Experiential learning equipped me with the tools to become compassionate and read the stories in one's eyes. The assaults provide not only a long battle with post-traumatic stress, but also, more importantly, the depth to be empathic and the ability to learn and listen. All of this I learned with the help of a few people who decide to sit quietly and be attentive to my words. I speak for many when I say we try our best to live good lives and manage in a place that's ambiguous and lonely at best. But there is hope. So I ask, if you find yourself at the crossroads with someone who shares you his story, listen to learn. I now live my life with clarity and conviction and revel in a world where my lessons of life and my appreciation for the power of experiential education remain aligned. I appreciate the intellectual climate that our industry has to offer, complemented by the ethic of care and compassion we provide those who need it. But it is important that we are willing to activate our minds to think beyond what we don't see. So it's my responsibility to use these lessons to ensure that men know they have a voice, and my daughter has a father who's present.